Hi, this video is about the biggest SEO keyword research mistakes and how to avoid them. There's two major benefits that I see with this is stop wasteful projects before they get started. This has been a big one for me in the past. Also get the most value out of the current projects that aren't necessarily automatically wasteful, or if you have a client where you know that they're not wasteful, you know it's something that can help them, and you can move forward with that in an optimal way as opposed to missing a lot of opportunities for them or yourself. So about me, my name is David Hood, and I've made well over $1 million online with SEO. I've been doing SEO for quite some time and have ranked a lot of websites. So I have a lot of experience with this, and I remember some very distinct experiences early on in my SEO career where I got this very, very wrong. And it's still something that is difficult and takes a decent amount of work. So the biggest mistake, and this is actually the most common one, I see a lot of people, they go after only the high search volume keywords. So for example, they'll pick like the top 5 keywords in their niche, and then they'll just like target that and that's it. And actually that means they're missing, let's say, about 80% of the total search volume out there by doing this. Now they're probably going to naturally pick up on some of the lower volume ones, but the vast majority of the searches are what are called long tail, which are essentially searches that don't get searched very much. In fact, often have almost no search volume, maybe a few times a year. And in fact, Google has stated in the past that I think it's something on the order of like 1/3 of all searches every month are brand new searches that were never searched before. So really considering all the different angles here and trying to scoop up as much of this extra search volume is going to be really helpful. And the good news is is the further you get down here, the less competitive it is and the easier it is to rank, especially since a lot of people are just going to focus on this orange bar right here. I think I covered all 3 of those. Okay, so here's another one. Relying too much on basically a single tool. So for example, like the Google keyword tool, and you might think, well, that data comes straight from Google. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with using it but you just don't want to use the Google keyword tool. That's what GKT stands for, as your only tool, or any other tool as a single tool. There are a lot of different resources out there and a lot of different ways to go about this. And you kind of need to cover it from multiple angles because no single tool is going to give you the perfect answer. Now, especially most tools, and surprisingly, the Google keyword tool is one of these, are really bad at giving you relevant search phrases. So by relevant search phrases, I mean other topics that are related to the main topic that you're looking for. I'm going to give an example in the next big mistake. But this is a big one. So a lot of times you'll just miss out on whole sections of keywords, just wide areas, tons and tons of search volume that are just not suggested by any of the tools. And you really have to think about you really have to dig deeper and look a little closer and use your brain to try to find a lot of these things, because a lot of times the data sets are incomplete as well. And so you have to continue to, like Google keyword tool, not all the search, sometimes if something is like up here in the chunky middle, they might actually show 0 search volume, but it's actually getting searched. So you kind of have to use your brain and consider that the incomplete data set is, there is an incomplete data set. One of the ways to fix this is to kind of fix the second one as well, by, if you don't get to know the target market and the niche really well. And this is why it is helpful. It's not required, but it's helpful to either be, this be a niche that you're already familiar with, whatever website you're starting, or, if you're working for a client, to have a discussion with them about their niche, have multiple discussions, kind of have a back and forth on their target market and what kind of services they provide. I'm going to give an example in the personal development niche. Let's go in here. So personal development, let's pull this down a little bit, gets searched 110 times a month. And Jim Rohn gets searched 110,000 times per month, sorry. And he's only one person. So this is a really big name, clearly, in the personal development niche. So if all you did was you came down here and you looked at personal development, here's a tool, keywords everywhere. That's good. It gives me some related stuff. But this is more like what the Google keyword tool is going to give. You go down to the bottom, personal development tips, examples, courses, articles. These aren't bad keywords. But notice how nothing in here really, I guess you got Jim Rohn right here. And so maybe you would find that, but this is so broad and you're going to miss all the other, let's say, there's tons and tons of other searches that you could do. Tons of other people in the personal development. There's probably going to be specific techniques that get searched a lot. And so, getting in and learning the niche and knowing the niche, or the target market, and really thinking about all the different keywords. A lot of people are just going to look at personal development, take those bottom 5 down there, and keep searching for things that are like personal development keywords, and that's fine, but you're missing out on a ton of potential market. And a lot of times these things can convert better. It really depends, but sometimes, especially if you were selling. If you had a store that where you were an affiliate for a Jim Rohn or personal development CDs or something, and part of the store sold Jim Rohn CDs, then those Jim Rohn pages obviously would convert a lot better for Jim Rohn CDs. So you can kind of you can tailor your marketing directly for that. Okay, this is the one which has probably hurt me the most in the past, and it's targeting keyword sets that I'll never make money from. And this is just so awful. I've made tons of sites in the past where spent months on them, thousands of dollars, and a lot of times they actually rank, but I still make zero or close to zero. Maybe I'm making a couple dollars a month. It's nothing significant, and spent lots and lots of time and energy on it. And this is unfortunate. So how can I avoid this? This is a big one, and this is something that is hard to tell up front. Okay, and this again goes back to number 3. Knowing your niche as well is really helpful. You can use it. There's a website called semrush.com where you can look at like who's ranking and how they're making their money. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, who's bidding on the pay-per-click. So they're going to determine the value of the traffic by who's bidding on pay-per-click. But sometimes the people who are bidding on pay-per-click are different than you, and they're selling something different, or they're closer to the company, or maybe even the actual company that's selling like a product or service, and so their profits are going to be substantially higher, and so they're able to bid more, and so the value of that traffic is going to be substantially less to you. So that's something to keep in mind. What exactly are these people that are ranking selling? Really think about the sales cycle of the customer. Maybe the search phrases you're targeting, like the whole concept of your site, is super early in the sales cycle. That doesn't mean you can't make money from them. It just means that they're lower value. And also consider, will they actually buy from you? Sometimes people just in certain niches, they just won't buy from you from like online recommendations. So this is going to be an important decision-making factor. And again, it goes back to kind of using your brain here and really thinking about, okay, what is going on here? Try to really sleuth out what's possible. How much traffic are other people getting? How much money do you think they're really making based upon that traffic? Obviously, you can't get an exact number. How much based upon what they're selling, you think they're making? Like, are they selling Amazon products to where they're maybe getting like $1 per sale, or are they selling some sort of affiliate product where they're getting $100 per sale? Well, that matters, right? The same amount of traffic with one versus the other, 100 times the amount of profit it can go from something that's $100 a site to $10,000 a site. That is one site is not nothing, but it's not really that great. Another site can enable you to quit your job, or can give you a full-time income, basically. And so these, just based upon these questions, I can't tell you how frustrating it is to work on a site, spend months on it, and spend money on it, and lots of time and energy, and rank it, and make almost nothing. Make such a low amount of money that it just is silly. And that is not fun. Now it's not a complete loss because I did get like data and stuff from it, but at the same time, it's clearly suboptimal. So if you liked this video, if you thought it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I do respond. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.